If you sell Medicare Advantage, eventually you're going to have a client say, I read something in the newspaper about this company getting indicted, or this company being sued, or this company. So yeah, let's just talk about it, because there was an article in the New York Times this week that had a very inflammatory headline: the cash monster was insatiable. And it says about, like almost every insurance company selling Medicare Advantage has gotten in trouble in the past, or is currently pending trouble, allegedly, for many times the similar complaint. So if you look at this chart, it's like everybody, right? Some of these are whistleblower lawsuits. Some of them are years in the making. Some of them will be dropped. And the main thing is you need to be able to explain this intelligently to your clients. What's going on? Because I've had clients say, oh no, I don't want Humana because I read this. And it's like, if you can't answer that, then if Humana would have been the best product for your client, then you don't have anywhere to go. You have to just throw it out and go like, well, okay, let's look at some alternatives. So you really do need to be well-versed to what is going on in the Medicare Advantage world with these complaints, whistleblower complaints from the government. And a lot of these are based around the HRA, is how sick was your client? So if your client only has diabetes, the insurance company only gets this much money. But if your client really has diabetes and neuropathy and macular degeneration and all kinds of other stuff, then the insurance company can get more money and should get more money because they're managing that person. That person's going to take more money to manage. So this is the risk scores that the insurance companies are saying, hey, there's a big lag. We're not getting paid for the actual risk we're taking. And so that's why they are paying agents now to go find out what's going on with these clients. You can't ask them health questions on the application, right? So these they all call it something different. VBA, HRA, RA, they all call it something different. And they give you between $50 and $80 to ask your clients, hey, what else is going on with your health? They're paying you that because it helps the insurance company get paid appropriately for the risk that they're taking, okay? And I think everybody can read, that's how the system is based. So a lot of these lawsuits, and you can see it's everybody, it's saying that these guys were accused by a whistleblower, and these were accused of fraud by the government, and these were accused by the inspector general. And like I said, it's everybody. That's the main thing, is it's almost everybody. And this is the people that wrote the article, if you want to check it out in the New York Times. Not to say that if everybody is breaking the law, that makes it okay. I'm just saying they're all having similar challenges with this. And they have their side, which is we're not getting paid appropriately. And the government's saying, well, we think you might be manipulating the risk scores, which is where you come in as an agent, because we can help the companies get paid appropriately by doing those, whatever your carrier calls it, those assessments to get that extra Medicare information. So some of you are like, it's not worth my time to get an extra 50, 60, 70, $80. But it does very much help the insurance company get paid appropriately, and we're all in this together. When they get paid more, benefits get richer, your clients benefit. What they said is that private Medicare Advantage in the next year are going to have half of people are going to be in Medicare Advantage. Okay, so Medicare Advantage is a wildly successful program. It's grown much faster than people have expected. And with this many people in it, with millions of people in it, there are going to be a lot of challenges. So what you need to know, and I'd be happy for you to read this article. You can ask us in the comments if you want us to send it to you. But they're saying, and the New York Times, it's the New York Times, so know what you're reading, that Medicare Advantage is overbilling the government. And if they've overbilled the government to the tune of $25 billion, which is more than the whole NASA space program, more than the whole children's health insurance program, blah, 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 blah. So it makes a great headline, but did they actually overbill them? That's what the court is going to decide. Or were they underpaid? So I'm not putting guilt on any of the insurance companies. I'm saying if every insurance company did it, if everybody's doing it, chances are they are all being underpaid, and that's going to be adjudicated eventually. But whether they're guilty of any different misdeeds, you kind of got to know. You kind of got to know what's going on. You do a quick Google search of your carrier because there's all kinds of stuff. There's sexual harassment. There's the CEO doing misdeeds. And that's something that you kind of need to know before you walk into the house. I remember when I was selling Conseco Medicare supplements back in 2001, when Conseco went bankrupt, they were still the best price in my state. And I remember walking into a house and I said, yeah, I ran your rates, da-da-da. And the mom was like, okay, cool. The son was so mad at me. He jumped off the couch. I thought he was going to hit me. He said, don't you bring that stuff in there. I read the papers every day. I was terrified. I sat it down and pulled out the next thing in my briefcase. Let's talk about Mutual of Omaha or Anthem Blue Cross or on and on and on and on and on. They're going to cost more for the same plan. At that time, I was selling mostly D. Same plan D as Conseco, but if you don't feel comfortable with Conseco's moral standing, financial situation, I totally respect that. But you got to know what's going on because it always hurts when you're blindsided. Like, didn't you know about AIG or whatever company that had prostitutes at their annual convention or something terrible? I mean, just like, oh my God, no, I didn't read that. You have Google, you have a supercomputer in your pocket. You need to avail yourself of it. Especially when you work with a lot of companies, it's really hard to keep up with all the different allegations. And keep in mind, most of these things are going to go away, okay? Most of this is sensationalized and is not going to result in a conviction or a fine. But you still need to know what's going on, and you still need to feel comfortable with the carriers that you're representing. So I don't know if that helped you or not, but it should at least encourage you to go do some research on the carriers that you sell. Happy selling.